Okay, in this video we're going to make a simple AV with Shotcut. So I'm going to actually use a slightly different folder to that one. Put it in here, give it a name. And we'll do a save as. We're going to put it in there. Which in fact it already did. Right, so now what we have to do is drag images across. The way Shotcut works is a bit different to the others that we've seen. So we need to bring up the playlists, go to our image folder. Now if we drag the first image into here, and then we drag that onto the timeline. So it's created a video track with that image on. Now if we look at the properties of that image, we can actually set the duration by dragging it. If we move this out of the way. And I want to set it to about 8 frames, 25 frames, so about 8 frames, 14 or 13 is about 8.5 seconds. And I'll set that as the default. Now when I drag the rest of the images in, it will automatically generate tracks that are that long. So I made them a bit longer than they were before, for the simple reason that I want them to overlap in Shotcut. So I'm going to drag this one in. I'm going to make that the first one. And then I'll drag the other images in. And then we'll have a cross at the end. Okay, so they're all roughly in there. And then, as I said before, I'm going to make this one just slightly longer. Going to drag this out till it's about 12 seconds long. And I want to drag this one till it's about 12 seconds long as well. Now we want to actually crossfade between them all. The way you do that in Shotcut is you just basically overlap them by, so if we overlap them by a couple of seconds, it'll automatically put a crossfade in. Put them in about that much. Okay, so there's our basic video. Now, the other thing we want to do, we want to bring the music in. should have done was added a audio track first. Drag it into the audio track. And hopefully it's about the right timing, because I've done this a couple of times now. So let's do the old adage of saving it away. So now I want to do a couple of other things. So on this particular item we want to add some text. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another track, the video track. It just creates a track up there, we're going to put the text onto that. So what we do is we do open other text, and we put in our text. And then we don't hold that handle because that's for dragging it up and down, but what we do is we drag that onto here, and what it does is it creates a little bit of video for us. Which we can adjust the length of, and we can adjust where it goes. Now we want to position that up here, and we could change the font and all other good things if we wanted to. So we've got font changes, colours, all the usual stuff. But what I'm more interested in at the moment is to add a couple more filters to this. So we're going to do a fade in video, which creates an envelope here, so I can fade it in, and then we're going to add a fade out video here. Just going to fade it out. So if we play that back, that's great. Still think maybe it might be up a little bit too long. So now we want to make sure that this fades in as well. So we're going to click on the image which we're overlaying with the text, and let's fade that in so that fades in as well. Now what we're going to do with these fade-ins, we want to adjust them so that they adjust the opacity rather than fading them into black. Otherwise we'll get black text appearing before the text appears, which we don't want. Gonna fill with that again. I'm able to. Comes in a little bit quick. Sometimes the animations are not quite the same as when it generates the AV. And then the final thing we want to do is trim that to the size of the music. Select that, And we add another fade out filter so that we fade that out. Right, there's a few things we need to do to tidy it up before we finish, and one of the things we want to make the text come in a slightly more elegant way. So if we go into the keyframe thing, we'll see we've got these handles here. So we drag them across. So now you see that slightly different effect. The other thing is we haven't sized the images, and the way you do that in here is you add another filter. So you add a size, position and rotate filter, and you can either drag these handles to just make it big enough to fit in. Now you always have to select the frame you're working on with all of these video editors to see what the effect is. So that's that one done. And then you have to go along to the other frames, and you have to do that again. You can drag that to make it bigger. Again, I haven't got my cursor over the right thing. And you can move it up and down as you want in the same way. So again, like all of these animation things, you have to be a little bit patient if you want to get them the way you want them. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. So we made this one bigger, and then we dragged a little blue reflection out of the way. Go to there, add another one. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll go through and do all of those. Okay, so I've been through and added that to everything, and I've pressed save, and if we go right back, see that everything's now filling the frame better. Ooh. I'm not sure that effect was at the beginning. Anyway, so we're now going to export it, so we click on the export. Pick, say, H.264 as a pretty standard profile. If you've got hardware encoder, you can tick this box, which most graphics cards will work with it. So there you hopefully. Then you press export file. Say where you want to save it. And it will chunder away for a while. Normally takes a while to get started. And you can see now the percentage is going up. It's going to take about 2 minutes to write that away. Okay, that's now finished, so replay it. Don't know what I did at the beginning there. Okay, apart from the glitch at the beginning, I think it's about the same as every other one we've made. Okay, so that's how to use Shotcut to do simple slideshow.